Hello friend, welcome to PPAP training program. My name is Mahakant Yadav and today we will discuss about the PPAP. Stand for production part approval process. The PPAP. First is introduction to PPAP. Second we will discuss what is PPAP. Third is why perform PPAP. Fourth one is when to perform PPAP and last one is level of PPAP. So one by one we will discuss these all. First is introduction to PPAP. PPAP is valuable tool for establishing confidence in component suppliers and their production processes. So in today's competitive manufacturing environment, controlling cost and maintaining a high level of quality have become vital to company success. Increasing cost of equipment, materials and labor combined with expanding world's market have resulted in an increase of outsourced part. Many component parts are being outsourced to overseas manufacturers. This often results in longer lead time and larger order quantities. Therefore, it has become imperative to provide quality parts that meet the customer requirements the first time and every time. As you know, initially PPI was utilized by the automotive and aerospace industries. PPAP is now being utilized by several industries to improve communication and improve quality products. Within the automotive industry, the ultimate resource for PPAP information is the manual published by the Automotive Industry Action Group, that is AIAG. Now we will move to second question, that is what is PPAP? What is the definition of PPAP? So PPAP, PPAP, some person also called PPAP or some were PPAP. Now PPAP define the approval process for new or revised parts or parts produced from new or significantly revised production methods. It consists of 19 elements that may be required by approval of production level parts. Not all of elements are required for every submission. There are 5 generally accepted PPAP submission level. The PPAP manual contains detailed information, guidelines and sample documents useful for completing the process requirement. The resulting PPAP submission provides the evidence that the supplier has met or exceeded the customer requirements and the process is capable of consistently reproducing quality parts. We will move to the third, that is why perform production part approval process. So the PPAP process verifies that the supplier understands all customer engineering design specification. So vendor should be satisfy all the customer design specification and requirements, and that the process is capable of consistently producing product meeting those requirements during an actual production run at the quoted production rate. So PPAP and other quality tools continue to be implemented into more industries. Therefore, it is important to gain an understanding of the PPAP requirement to remain competitive as a part supplier. Now, when to perform PPAP? When it should be performed? So PPAP is required for any part submission as well as for approval of any change to an existing part or processes. The customer may request a PPAP during the product life. This demands that the supplier must maintain a quality system that develop and document all of the requirements of a PPAP submission at any time. Slide. And our last question is level of PPAP. There is a 5 level of PPAP. This question asked in any interview if you have attended or if we will attend in future, then interviewer must be asked this PPAP levels and about the PPAP and why we will do the PPAP. So every question asked by the interviewer. Now level 1, in level 1 we only submit PSW to the customer. In level 2, PSW with product sample and limited supporting data. In level 3, PSW with product sample and complete supporting data. So PSW is a part submission warrant. In part submission warrant, all details are provided about the product like length, width, appearance, everything and provided in the PSW. So this is a very main document of PPAP. So in every company, level 3 is the default level of PPAP. In level 3, PSW with product sample and complete supporting data to be provided to the customer. In level 4, PSW and other requirement as defined by the customer. In level 5, PSW with product samples and complete supporting data available for review at the supplier manufacturing location. So in level 1 and level 5, the difference is that in level 1 PSW only submitted to the customer, and in level 5 PSW with product samples and complete supporting data available for review at the supplier manufacturing. That means at vendor or supplier ends, customer will visit and verify all the related documents. Now we will discuss PPAP documents. So first is design records of sellable products, 4 proprietary component details, 4 all other components details. In first element, design records of sellable parts. So design documentation shall include both a copy of customer and the supplier drawings. The documentation should also include a copy of the purchase order. In some cases, the supplier is required to supply documentation of material composition. The purchase order is used to confirm that the correct part is being ordered and that is at the correct revision level. The design engineer responsible for verifying that the two drawing match and all critical or key characteristics have been identified. Material composition information is required to supply evidence that the material used to manufacture the parts meet the customer specific requirements. Now in engineering change documents, if any. If the PPAP is being required due to a request for a change to a part or product, the documentation requesting and approving the change must be included in the PPAP package. And this documentation usually consists of a copy of the ECN, that is engineering change note, which must be approved by the customer engineering department. Okay, I hope you will understand. Now a third element of PPAP is customer engineering approval if required. So in customer engineering approval, when required as a part of the PPAP, the supplier must provide evidence of approval by the customer engineering department. If required, pre-PPAP sample are ordered by the customer for on-site testing. The sample must be production intent and shipped with a waiver so that testing can be done. Okay, now design FMEA, that is design failure mode and effect analysis. In design FMEA, Design of MEA is a cross-functional activity that examines design risk by exploring the possible failure modes and their effect on the product or customer and their possibility to occur. This failure mode can include product malfunctions, reduced performance or product life, safety and regulatory issues. The DFMEA is a living document that should be reviewed and updated throughout the product life cycle. So may remember DFMEA is a live document. Okay. Fifth element of the PPAP is process flow diagram. The process flow diagram or PFD outlines the entire process for assembling the component or final assembly in a graphical manner. The process flow include incoming materials, assembly, test, rework and shipping, all which is included in the process, that is a PFD. Sixth is process FMEA, process failure mode and effect analysis. So process failure mode and effect analysis review all of the steps in the production process to identify any potential process quality risk and then document the applied controls. The PFMEA is also a living document and should be updated even after the product is in normal production. Okay. Seventh is dimensional results. In dimensional results, dimensional layout of sample parts is required to validate the product meets the print specification. The samples should be randomly selected from a significant production run, usually at least 30 pieces. Each dimension on the drawing is measured on the final assembly to make sure that it falls within a specification. The results are recorded in a spreadsheet and included within the PPAP submission. Okay. Eighth one is a material performance test results. So this element should contain a copy of the design verification plan and report. The design verification plan and reports is a summary of every validation test performed on the part. It should list each and every test performed, a description of how the test was performed and the result of each test. This section may also include copies of all the certification document for all materials, that is steel, plastics, etc. listed on the prints. Now move to the initial process study. In initial process study, we will be done on all the production processes and will include SPC. SPC is a statistical process control. So these studies demonstrate that the critical processes are stable, demonstrate normal variation and are running near the intended nominal value. Our 10th point is measurement system analysis study, that is MSA. So MSA is a study of any gauge or instrument, include gauge repeatability and reproducibility, gauge R&R, a study on measurement equipment used during assembly or quality control checks. Calibration records for all gauges and measurement equipment must be included. So MSA is very good tool to study about the instrument and tools. Now we move to SEC. Our 11th element are qualified laboratory documentation. So qualified laboratory documentation consists of the industry certification for any lab that was involved in completing validation testing and this could be for an in-house test lab or any off-site contracted test facilities that were used for validation or material certification testing. So sometimes we will do material testing in-house, or if we have no any uh, machine for testing or equipment, then we will go to the third-party testing, that is a lab testing. uh, PPAP 12th element is control plan. So control plan is a document in which we will control all the critical parameters, and the control plan is an output from the PFMEA. The control plan lists all product special characteristics and inspection method required to deliver product that continually meet the customer quality requirements. So control plan consists of all the critical dimension and control all dimensions. Next is part submission warrant. As we have already discussed about the PSW, part submission warrant. So PSW is a main document of PPAP. This document forms a summary of entire PPAP submission. A PSW is required for each of part number unless otherwise stated by the customer. The PSW includes the reason for submission, that is a design change, annual revalidation, etc. The level of documents submitted to the customer, and the declaration of part conformity to customer requirements. A section provided for any required explanation or comments. Supplier authorized person signature along with contact information, and an area for customer to indicate disposition of the PPAP. Okay, so PSW is a summary sheet of the PPAP. Now 14th element of the PPAP is appearance approval report, that is AAR, if applicable. So the AAR is applicable for component affecting appearance only. This report verifies that the customer has inspected the final product and it meets all the required appearance specification for the design. The appearance requirement could include information regarding the color, texture, etc. Number 15th is the bulk material requirement checklist. In number 16th, sample products. So we will submit one sample product to the customer which we have manufactured. So sample production parts are sent to the customer for approval and are typically stored at either customer or supplier site after the product development is complete. A picture of the production part is usually included in the PPAP documentation along with documentation regarding the location that the parts are being stored. Next point is a master sample. A master sample is a final sample of the product that is inspected and signed off by the customer. The master sample part is used to train operators and serves as a benchmark for comparison to standard production parts if any parts quality question arises. Okay. 18th is the checking aids. So checking aids means what tools we include, what gauges we include for part or product manufacturing. This is a detailed list of the checking aids used by the production. It should include all tools used to inspect, test, or measure parts during the assembly process. The list should describe the tool and have the calibration schedule for the tool. Checking aids may include check fixture, counter variable, and attribute gauges models or templates. MSA may be required for all checking aids based on the customer requirements. And last one is the record of compliance with the customer specific requirement, that is CSR, customer specific requirement. This element of the submission package is where any special customer requirements are contained. For work material, the customer specific requirements shall be recorded on the work material requirement checklist. So this is all about the PPAP elements. Hope you will understand about the PPAP element, and uh, apart from this we will discuss APQP also in next video. If you are a new on my channel, then please subscribe and like the video.